time.
And this is up and good. The score now 7-0 Jaguars. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Here's Thomas Rawls with his first carry. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
On second down, here's Wilson. He almost had it. The big D lineman nearly had an interception. Instead, it falls down incomplete. Charles, already trailing by a touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
Here's Wilson. Over the middle, complete. It's Richardson. They'll get 23 yards there. And the Seahawks are going to have a first down. I don't know if I agree with that. I guess they don't care if I agree with that. But, boy, you have to be surprised by that, right?
I definitely was surprised that they decided to go for it in this situation. But they must have either felt like they either had a great play call on or they're trying to show extreme confidence.
And his throw's going to be incomplete. The intended target, Doug Baldwin. That'll bring up second down.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
2nd and 10. It's Wilson again. Trump taking it right down Broadway. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Paul Richardson, 47 yards. And the Seahawks just an extra point away from tying this thing up. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. I want to give a hat tip real quick, Charles, to J.J. Watt before the possession switches here. Walter Payton, NFL Man of the Year, and they totaled up how much he helped raise for hurricane relief, $37 million.
Incredible. Hurricane Harvey, which really hit the Houston area in a big way, and his original goal was $200,000. So congratulations to J.J. Watt and all the people participating. And Greg Olsen of the Panthers, Benjamin Watson of the Ravens, both tight ends, also nominated and finalists for the most prestigious award as determined by the NFL, the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award.
9 yards still remaining here to pick up the first on second down. Now Bortles throwing on second down. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Michael Bennett in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Following the sack, 3rd and long for Bortles and the Jags. Bortles now to throw. Looking long for Westbrook. He's got a man complete. And he's brought down, but not before getting across midfield to the 45. That one goes for 36 yards. And now a first down following that long gain. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Fournette, a first down carry. And he's going to be met at about the 43. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean, or else he'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Bortles to throw on 2nd down. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 46. Past the 20. 10. 5. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. Short throw, pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Jags taking over on offense here in a second. And what a season, Charles, it was for Jacksonville. Some people did like them as a dark horse coming into the year, and they really responded.
Heard recently at one of the, all-star games, college all-star games, a scout saying, well, heck, haven't they been the dark horse for the last 5 years coming into the season? And he's
trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowl cornerback, Richard Sherman. CD, I want to get your thoughts on some potential free agents this offseason before we change the possession here. Now, caution, many of these guys could be resigned, I know, but who are some of them? Kirk Cousins is one.
Yeah, we're talking about difference makers. Kirk Cousins at the quarterback position. He's going to be coveted around the league by quarterback-needy teams. Case Keenum had a big year. Could he move? But how about running backs? Le'Veon Bell, Dion Lewis. Some pass catchers, Jimmy Graham, Jarvis Landry, Sammy Watkins. And about the guy who goes and gets quarterbacks, DeMarcus Lawrence had a monster year for Dallas last season.
Yeah, a lot of big names that could be out there as free agents. And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
So what will they do? On the ground, through the air, let's see. 2nd and 9. They stay on the ground. Rolls again. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Thomas Rawls taking it in from the 20. And the Seahawks add on to their lead.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run. And one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. Now the return, Rashad Green. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Before the offense changes hands here, let's look back at the Super Bowl February 5th. What a game. I know you were there calling it offensively, though. Impressive on both sides.
It certainly was, and let's face it, if you're in Minnesota, it's cold outside, but you talk about the offenses, they heated up in a big way. And how about Nick Foles? The backup quarterback turned MVP. 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, and, of course, the big one receiving on the Philly special.
Quite a story. As you and I were talking about off-air, it was just a fluid game. Not a lot of penalties, just really clean play.
Exactly the type of game the NFL needed for the audiences at home watching the game and, of course, people in attendance. A really well-played game.
To throw, it's Bortles. Looking and finding Allen Hurns. A Jacksonville first down on a pickup of 17. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
play fake here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Sheldon Richardson busting through to get him for a loss of 6. Working from the gun, it's Bortles. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowl safety Cam Chancellor. And they finally put it into this return, but not before he's all the way down to the 37. Before the possession switches here, I had written down that I wanted to talk about some of the awards this past season in the NFL. We know Brady was the MVP, but Todd Gurley, Offensive Player of the Year.
How about that for a bounce back? Many were questioning whether he'd had a sophomore slump the season before. Didn't even get to 1,000 yards. Was a dominant force in 2017. How about his teammate Aaron Donald on the defensive side? He took home Defensive Player of the Year award.
Yeah, very impressive. They had both sides of the ball. Sean McVay deserving, I think you would agree, of Coach of the Year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what he did for the Rams when they went from last in the league in scoring to leading the league in scoring and winning a division title. And how about the New Orleans Saints? Rookie of the Year, offense and defense. Alvin Kamara on offense, Marshawn Lattimore on defense.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Now Wilson on 2nd down. This will be caught inside the 10. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal. From the gun, it's Wilson. His throw incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, helped force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. On 2nd down, Wilson. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. That time the completion goes for 4 yards, and we're set up with a 3rd and goal.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed.
And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Tyler Lockett, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. And he knocks it through. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So the football switching hands here in just a second. And, you know, Tom Brady, just to go off on a tangent for a second, may have lost the Super Bowl, but 3rd MVP this past season, and what he did at age 40, really something, right, Charles?
Absolutely phenomenal. Ended up beating out Todd Gurley, the running back for the Los Angeles Rams. But he would have traded it for a Super Bowl win, don't you think? How about this? The last 9 NFL MVPs to play in the Super Bowl that same season, 0-9.
Yeah.
You go all the way back to Kurt Warner in, what, 1999 where he won the double?
We were going over that stat earlier. That is hard to believe.
But he would have been the MVP had the Patriots pulled that one out.
Yeah, he still has 5 rings, though. 5 Super Bowl titles for Brady. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. 9 yards on the run there, and it will take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back with more from Jacksonville. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this. On 2nd down, here's Fournette. Oh, Fournette loses it. It's out. But it looked like a Jaguar was able to cover this thing, and so Jacksonville will keep control.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off around the 41. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. Charles, earlier we talked a lot about Russell Wilson, what a great job he did last year in 2017 as Seattle's offense is working their way back onto the field. But they're probably going to need to find a running game to alleviate some of that pressure. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Calais Campbell in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. From midfield now, here's Wilson. And he's going to go down again. Calais Campbell in there to get him for a loss of 5. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the runs.
And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Paul Richardson with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Seahawks add on to their lead.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette, and he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Again, it's Fournette. And not much there at all as he'll get this only up to about the 11. Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because usually